Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you all are safe home with your families, and please stay home so that everyone is also safe outside. Today, what we are going to do is I'm going to start a few sessions, maybe for 5 to 10 minutes every day, on improving the research output of Atmi University. And today, the first session, this will be the way the sessions will be held. The first session will be on Researcher's ID, which I'm going to talk about, and then the following sessions have been designed in this way. Coming to the first session, the first thing that I'm talking about having a researcher ID. As per the world, the global level research, ORCID ID is something that every one of us should have by now. And maybe in future we could also have Atmi University registered as an organization so that it authenticates each and every one of us who is associated with Atmi University. ORCID ID, as the name suggests, it connects the researchers and the research. This is my login ID. It's a simple step. You can create it, and this will be the ORCID ID that will be available for you to register, especially when you are working with open journal systems, that is publishing in an open open access journal, or even for that matter, now it is considered by most of the publishers as a must-have ID before you go ahead publishing. The best thing about ORCID ID is it also helps you have your other names. For example, I was Sheetal Malashmi before I got married. Now it is Sheetal Tang. So I might have published some papers with my previous name. So it will also help me gather all those papers with this name too. And also maybe I have some pen names, or maybe I have written papers with different email IDs as we change the organizations and things like that. So here you're going to register about your current employment or the previous employment, the educational qualifications that you have, and what happens at the end is, like for example, in this case, this paper was published by me, and it was automatically crawled, or what you call it in the field of online searching, it is called as harvesting. So this paper has been harvested and it has been registered over here by Crossref. So this actually authenticates you, because I had registered in this particular journal using the ORCID ID. So it automatically comes here and it is listed as it is one of my papers. Similarly, so I would, you can also add your own papers. Like for example, I added this paper which was written by me in one of the conferences. So I have myself uploaded it. So like that you can create your profile and keep adding. I'm sure many of you already have it, those who have been doing a number of publications, but for those who are about to start their research journey, I think this is the first thing to do before you go ahead. Another important resource that I would be talking about today is, I think these are the best days to actually explore the research possibilities. Go to Google and type out for Researchers Academy. The keyword is Researchers Academy. There are many publishers, some of the top publishers in the world. When we say top publishers, it means the coverage that they have in terms of the number of areas that they publish, or the kind of reach out they have in the research community, the number of academic journals and research journals that they index, and of course the ones which have the highest impact factor in terms of Web of Science or Scopus. If you look out for the word Research Academy in Google, it will show you the first search is by Elsevier, or the famous platform that Elsevier has is Science Direct. It publishes nearly around 25% of the global research, so that is how it makes it a very good research platform. This is one. Of course, there is Publons, there is also Wiley, there are other publishers. So depending upon the type of researcher you are, if you are a science researcher, the first pick would definitely be Elsevier or maybe Springer. If you are a social science researcher, then maybe Wiley or Sage. These could be one of those, or maybe even Cambridge, Oxford University Press. So these could be one of those best resources that you should be using. So I would suggest, like, you can go for Researchers Academy by Elsevier. If you just look into it, create your account into this before you actually start doing any of your endeavors on these websites. And if you see here, it talks about the research cycle. So that's what we are going to do in the few days. Research preparation, writing for research, publication process, navigating peer review, or communicating your research. So when I click on research preparation, of course, before you start your research, you need to know a few things. So how to secure funding, or successful research grant applications, getting it right, that is, how do you write the research applications, or how do you discover the matrix, like how do you make your research visible so that it earns maximum metrics. When we say about matrix, as we talked about journal impact factor, we are also talking about authors H index, or maybe an ultimate matrix, which we nowadays in our field we call it as Altmatrix. Okay, so there are various other websites which will help you get those Altmatrix, which I'll be talking about later in this. So there will be some of these courses which you can get working with. So supposing if I click on the first module, you can actually look into this particular the video lecture that has been made available by the Researchers Academy. Go through it, and at the end of attending this course, you would be able to earn a certificate for yourself. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. So just click on okay. So of course it says you need to register yourself or register your email ID so that you can get an unlimited access to this. Okay, so you can just try to complete these courses and earn yourself some certificates towards the end of this the coronavirus vacation that we are right now on. Another interesting thing that we have in India is Indian Research Information Network System, IRNS. So supposing if I want to know about people in our country who are working on, let us say, artificial intelligence, so I can just say search. So you have like Professor L.M. Patnaik, who is from computer science background. He's from Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. He has around 421 publications and a Scopus citation of around 5,103. And as I said, it is also talking about the Altmatrix, that is, it has around 18, and he has an H index of 18. So you can actually look into the profile of this Vidwan. This IRINS is also connected to the Vidwan database of our country, which I think most of you should be registered by now. If you're not, you can visit the Vidwan database and register yourself again. Like you have ORCID ID for global research ID, Vidwan will also help you have a better exposure in our own country. So if you look into the profile of this particular professor, you'll be able to see the kind of publications he has from 1981 to 2009, and also kind of the citations he has, the H index he has, the cross-ref or the Altmatrix that he has. And at the same time, it will talk about the kind of co-authorship this person has had so far. And also a few of his papers will be listed below, and maybe we could kind of invite him for a webinar, or maybe in future for as an advisor or something, even if we want to start a course very specifically to this. Of course, most of you might have registered yourself with researchgate.net. Another important resource to get yourself a small, an alt matrix, which is called as an RG score. When we talk about an alt matrix, it actually says that maybe today I'm not having any citations, but in the days to come, once the people start downloading the article or start reading the article, I might stand a possibility to get a citation. So alt matrix basically how well the paper may be referenced in the near future. So this is my account, so you would be able to look into the statistics. I have just uploaded a couple of papers for the review of people. Again, a very good source to get review critical insights into how your paper looks like, or what kind of a research it is. And if you see, it will also tell about how many which date there was peak access of these articles, and it will also tell you about who all are looking into your research. So that is something very, very interesting. I think it really helps you to motivate yourself that okay, people are reading my research or things like that. This is one of my professors who asked me to give a feedback on his paper. We could also ask people to give reviews to our own papers and things like that. We can also look into which are the countries that are people who are referring to our research, and especially there are countries like African countries, Philippines, Taiwan, Middle East, even Asian countries, which would be interested in looking into our articles because of the language, as compared to maybe the foreign publications. So I would suggest that you should look into this. This is the Altmatric website. If you look into something like, go to this website altmatric.com and look into Altmatric top 100. Basically, if you want to see what has been the trend in the last 2019, which are papers which were most visited, maybe not most cited, but you would be able to look into the kind of articles that are being surfed and looked into, and so I would suggest that you should spend some time into these interesting websites in these days, and help me also to reach out to you by giving your feedbacks on what is that you're looking for, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with that. I hope with this, just to sum up, open an ORCID account right away today. It just takes 5 minutes, and just put in as many IDs, email IDs, or as many names that you might have registered yourself in different journals, and also about your credentials, your affiliations. Maybe as a student of PhD you have written Saurashtra University, then it should show up there that you were a student of Saurashtra University. So all that will authenticate and kind of harvest all those papers for you on that one network. So happy surfing, and enjoy your research journey till I come back tomorrow. Thank you.